Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. I'm Mom and I do the movie reviews. So, this is the very first time I've tried to wear green in front of my green screen. So, let's see how this works. I might like disappear if I move. I don't know. Clearly, I'm not a filmmaker, but the movie I'm going to review today is called Penguin Bloom. This movie releases on January 27th. The movie is rated PG-13. It's an hour and 35 minutes. And the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a B. So I will explain why. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked and didn't like and why, as well as some tips for parents, themes worth talking about, and even some recommendations for other movies that I think you might like that are sort of similar to this one. Okay, so let's get started. In a nutshell, the movie is directed by Glendon Ivan. It's a very dramatic story, which is actually a true story about Sam Bloom. That's where we get the name Bloom in the title, who experienced a freak accident that left her paralyzed from the waist down. The movie is based on a book written by Sam's husband, Cameron Bloom. So you can check that out if you want to learn more about the actual real story. So a lot of people are going to be able to relate to one of the characters who declares in the beginning of the movie, "I hate last year." Well, it actually wasn't 2020 that the little boy was talking about, actually. That was the year that his mom was in the accident. The title gets its name from an injured magpie bird that a family cares for and thinks looks like a penguin because it's black and white. So that's how you get Penguin Bloom. It becomes one of the family. Several birds were actually used in the making of the movie to represent this one real life magpie that saved Sam Bloom and her life. It's a story of hope and healing. So let me give you some tips for parents because it is rated PG-13 and so they might be interested. First of all, I was worried that the film showed a topless girl until I realized the actor was just a boy with really long hair. And in fact, the movie actually is from a child's perspective. And so I thought that that was really sweet. You see the backside of a naked woman sitting on a chair in a shower. An older woman calls handicapped people spastic. And overall, most kids are going to be bored, and so will some adults. The movie is definitely a slow burn, and they probably just won't tolerate all of the drama and the slowness of the life that's portrayed, and they'll be bored that nothing really happens. So there's that. Let me point out some themes that are worth talking about with your kids if you watch the movie. First of all, what could have been? A lot of times people find themselves wishing for the past because it was better than the present and they don't have hope for the future. And that's exactly what happens in this movie. And so it's a really good reminder to learn from the past, but to try to be more mindful of the present and to find joy in the moment. Other themes are hope, family, persistence, the human spirit, the healing power of nature and animals, and how life can change in an instant. So, to really be grateful for what is right now, because it may not always be what it is right now. There were lots of things that I liked about the movie. First of all, starring Naomi Watts. She is just excellent in everything that she does. I've adored her for years. If I see that she's in a movie, I'll watch it simply because I think she's just a fantastic actress. She just always lends a sense of grace to every performance that she gives. She even helped to produce this film and had a hand in how it was going to be made. She definitely needs to stop vacationing in Thailand, though. She's been in two movies where she was severely injured. This one, obviously. And then, did you ever see the movie The Impossible? It's a really good movie and it's a true story, also. So, check that out. In fact, I've got the link down below in the description. So, in case you want to get access to that, you can use that link. Another great actor I really enjoy is Andrew Lincoln. It was good to see that he has recovered after years of being attacked by zombies in the huge TV hit, The Walking Dead. This is actually the very first movie that he's been in since The Walking Dead ended. And so when asked why this film, he said that he was really taken with the script. He had only read a few pages and he knew instantly he wanted to be a part of this movie. The on-set photographer was actually the person that he was playing in the movie. And he said that it was just really fun to get to know this family. And in fact, not only is the movie a true story, but they actually filmed the movie in the actual home of the Bloom family. I thought that was pretty amazing. They said that they changed some of the wall colors and moved some things around just from a cinematographer's point of view. Things would look better. But I was so impressed with how gracious the Bloom family was to allow this whole film crew to come into their home. And by the way, both Naomi Watts and Andrew Lincoln are British, but they sounded authentically Australian with their accents in the movie. Of course, that's an American's opinion. Maybe their accents were terrible, but they sounded good to me. I love that the movie takes place so close to the ocean because I think the ocean is so healing. I used to live very close to the beach in Carlsbad, California, and I loved it. I never complained once when the kids dragged in sand from the beach, after we had been there, because I felt like I was living there on a permanent vacation. I would look at the sand on my travertine tile floor and say, I have sand on my floor because I live so close to the ocean. I love that. The movie doesn't explore so much the ocean's healing properties other than Sam, the one who's injured, learns to kayak in the ocean and regains her sense of freedom and excitement and love for nature and confidence that she's able to do something. There's another actress in the movie whose name is Rachel House, and I hadn't seen her before until I saw the movie The Hunt for the Wilder People, and I thought she was hilarious. That's playing currently on Netflix. So if you like her in this movie, definitely check out that movie because that movie really showcases her talent. I loved the camera angles that disorient you, just like Sam is disoriented after her accent. As well as several times scenes are replayed from different angles and perspectives. And again, I love that the movie is taken from a child's perspective. And so the playfulness with the camera, I thought, was a really important part of telling that story. There are some very touching moments that got me choked up. And the magpie itself is just absolutely adorable, especially when you see it carrying around its little stuffed animal. I mean, how cute is that? You're definitely going to want to rescue a bird too. And so just give you the heads up, if you see this with your kids, they're going to want a pet bird. Using a wounded bird to symbolize Sam's physical and emotional recovery is very simple to understand, albeit expected. And some film critics are saying it was just way too obvious, even though it's a real story and it is symbolic, and the symbolism is powerful. And finally, as a mother, I could absolutely relate to the pain that Sam Bloom must have felt in her heart when her kids started calling out for their father rather than for her. Mothers just want to nurture, it's natural instinct. And when you're prevented from actually being there for your children, it's just heartbreaking. And again, I thought that the acting was great and it carried that message very well. Now, there were some things that I didn't like as much. First of all, as I mentioned, some audiences will be very bored, saying that nothing really happens. It's definitely a slow burn, which makes the movie feel longer than it actually is. It's extremely predictable and nothing we haven't seen before, but it is still inspiring. sometimes people tell more about what they're feeling rather than show us what they're feeling. And so I've never been a big fan of lots of exposition in filmmaking. The audience is told the rest of the story at the end of the movie, and that's super inspiring. But I would have liked to have seen maybe some more of those things hinted at in the movie, because you read what the family has gone on to do since this movie was made about them, and you're just like, wow, well, that's amazing. So it makes you want to learn more about the family and wonder, why didn't they throw that part into the movie? Now, whenever I watch a movie, I always write down the interesting lines or funny lines, and I include them in my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So you can run over there and check those out. Actually, I didn't write down any funny lines, but I did write down some interesting lines. So I'll share one of them with you right now. So this is spoken by Reuben Bloom, one of the sons, played by Felix Cameron. And he says, "Mom's not the person she used to be, and I know she's not the person she wanted to be, but to me, she's much more than that." And I thought that that was a really sweet tribute to his mom. Okay, so before I go, let me give you a couple of recommendations for other movies that feature Naomi Watts. And one of them is The Impossible, which I mentioned earlier. She's just excellent. And again, it's a true story and very powerful, makes you appreciate the moment, appreciate your family, your loved ones, reminds you to tell them how much you love them while you have them in your lives and that kind of thing. Another movie is one that recently came out starring Naomi Watts, and it's called Boss Level. It's very different from Penguin Bloom, but it's really good. It's kind of like an action movie version of the film Groundhog Day. Anyway, I will actually queue up my movie review for that movie when this one's done playing, so you can check that one out as well. All right. Thank you so much for subscribing. Just liking and commenting and subscribing are free ways that you can support my growing channel. And I really appreciate your support. And a special thank you to those who are going over to Patreon, where I have lots of gifts and tiers available so you can support my efforts and my passion project over there. All right. I hope that you enjoy this movie if you watch it, and I will catch you in the next movie review. Bye for now.